What's going on, guys? JPB Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday. And for today's matchup, I'm bringing you a prankkids versus Marincess matchup with my opponent playing Marincess going first. Now with this, I preemptively maxi my opponent during standby phase again, but this is a judgment call on your part. Whether you want to max your opponent during their draw or standby phase on turn 1, or if you want to maxi them when they are specialing a monster on the field, which will guarantee you one card draw. But sometimes you do run into decks that just straight up special monster on the field, which will make it so that your maxi will have one less card draw. So I usually tend to maxi them during their standby or draw phase. So I do that. My opponent proceeds to Ash Blossom my maxi, which I have no counter towards, so it goes through, and this lets me know my opponent is playing a combo deck. My opponent starts off his turn by normaling out the Marincess Blue Tank. Now this lets me know he's playing Marincess, and Marincess is a heavy combo deck. My opponent goes through his combo, one card combo off of Blue Tank. Blue Tank sends one card to the graveyard, goes into his Blue Slug. Blue Slug is gonna take one card from the graveyard, add it to his hand, and the Blue Tank will execute the top 3 cards. If it flips over a Marincess card, he adds it to his hand. Thankfully, he did not do that. He adds one card, specials it on the field, goes into Sea Angel. Sea Angel activates, which will search him for the field spell for the Marincess. Then he's gonna activate Signet Mining, send one field spell from his hand to add the Mandarin to his hand. Mandarin is gonna special itself on the field since he has 2 Marincess monsters on the field, and then he's gonna link climb into Anemone using the 2 cards under the Blue Slug. Anemone is going to target one card, put it back on the field, then he's going to link climb into Crystal Heart, and with this, he's going to go into his link for the Bubble Reef. He's going to activate his field spell, and then chain link his Anemone to it. Anemone is going to add one card from his graveyard to his hand, which is the field spell, and then the field spell will put 3 links, attach it to the Great Bubble. He sets down one card on the field, and with this, my opponent ended his turn. Now, since my opponent used the Crystal Heart to link into the Great Bubble Reef, and his field spell is on the field, this card is basically immune to all card effects. So I cannot just straight up Raigeki my opponent to out this card, as long as his field spell is on the field. And Marincess do run a trap card, which when activated makes Marincess monster immune to any card effect whatsoever. So even if I somehow destroy the field spell, if he activates that specific trap card, this card will be immune to card effects at all for this turn only. So on my draw phase, I was really hoping to draw into a Kaiju. If I drew into a Kaiju, I could just Kaiju this card and his whole field is pretty much gone. I would not have to care about what he does whatsoever. So let's see what card we draw into. I draw into a Dropsies, not a Kaiju. He activates the Great Bubble Reef, banishes one card from his graveyard to add one card to his hand, and since this card saw a card getting banished, it will gain 600 attack each time a card is banished till the end of this turn. So it's currently at 5200 attack. So I go into my combo. I normal out my Dropsies from my hand, start link climbing into my combo. As I'm going through my combo, my opponent's side of the field kept getting highlighted over and over. I'm still assuming this card is the trap card that makes his Marincess monster immune to any card effects. That's what I'm assuming, and that's what I'm going into my combo off of. If that card was a Call by the Grave, he probably would have used it way before, right? He could have used the combo to Call by the Grave to just negate my complete combo by Call by the Grave, the first graveyard activation that I did. So I'm thinking it's not Call by the Grave. I did go into Doodle Doo. He did not imperm my Doodle Doo, so I'm thinking that's probably not imperm either. So as I'm going through my combo motions, this is the last chance I have to maybe draw into a Kaiju. I activate the Roxy's, banish the Lamseys, hoping to draw into a Kaiju. Sadly, no, drew into a Prankkids Place. Special out Fansies. And since this card, the Great Bubble Reef, saw one card get banished again, it's gonna gain 600 attack, putting it at 5800. I did draw into a Prankkids Place, So I activate it, draw into another Lamb-Seed. So in case my opponent had a Call by the Grave on his turn, if he draw into it, and if he Call by the Grave, it's my Bow Wow Bark, at least I'll still be able to go into my Butler combo. So towards the end of my combo, I activate Fusion Destiny to go into my DPE. But this is a slight misplay that I did, because if this card was Imperm and if my opponent was waiting to activate Imperm till now, and if he activates Imperm, it's in the same column as the Fusion Destiny. So if he activates Imperm, this card is an effect monster, this card is an effect monster, my Fusion Destiny would have been rendered useless. So keep in mind to activate your Fusion Destiny and stuff like that in the same row as, you know, your opponent not having their face down sets in. So minor mistake right here. Thankfully it was not Imperm, so my Fusion Destiny did go through. I get my DPE on the field. With this, I use my DPE, pop my opponent's field spell. So this way, now I could use Raigeki to pop his Great Bubble Reef. As long as that is not the trap card I'm thinking about, I could just use Raigeki, pop his field. I could make his field go boom at this point. So, and I did send my DPE to the graveyard, so I was thinking, maybe he wanted to wait till now. Maybe this face down card is a Call by the Grave. Maybe. This was a big maybe. I was taking a big risk on this, because by choosing to pop my own DPE, if this card was a Call by the Grave, he would be forced to Call by the Grave my DPE unless he wants my DPE to come back on the field next turn. Otherwise, if I had kept my DPE on the field and then on his draw phase, used my Bow Wow Bark, pop my Bow Wow Bark, if that card turned out to be Called by the Grave, that would have been really detrimental for me. I mean, not in the overall perspective, because I could still go into Butler, but my cards would not be immune to destruction through card effect off of Bow Wow Bark's effect. So that's the reason over here I pop my DPE in case that was a Call by the Grave he was saving, and make him use it. So I activate DPE, and it turned out that that face down card was Called by the Grave. So this whole thing was a big mind game going back and forth between me and my opponent. My opponent chose to hold on to his Call by the Grave till this point, and I don't know why. He could have literally made my life miserable by using Call by the Grave on my first graveyard activation and negated my full combo from going through. But I guess we still managed to bait out his Call by the Grave with our DPE. Now with this, I activate Raigeki, I make his field go boom. So nothing on his field, he activates the graveyard activation, targets one card in his graveyard, adds it to his hand. We don't care about it. I go into battle phase, whack him in the face for 2k with my Bow Wow, activate Pranks, recycle 3 cards, draw into Instant Fusion. So for next turn, Instant Fusion is really good because it helps me combo extend. Maybe I'll even be able to kill him next turn. Draw phase, pop my Bow Wow Bark, target the 2 cards I need for the Butler combo, add them to my hand. So now I have a guaranteed Butler combo. My opponent starts off his turn by activating his field spell. Now, as long as he uses a Crystal Heart as a material and puts the monster in the extra monster zone, that card again will be immune to destruction through any card effects. So I have to go into my Butler and pop his field before he does all that. He uses Monster Reborn, targets the Link 2, which is the Anemone. Anemone activates, targets the Crystal Heart, and it's gonna special the Crystal Heart on the field. And 2 Link 2 means that he could go into another Great Bubble Reef. And once Bubble Reef comes on the field, by using the Crystal Heart as a material and goes into the extra monster zone, because of the field spell, it will be immune to any card effects. So I have to chain link my Pandemonium to the activation of Anemone right now, and once it resolves, once I get my Butler on the field and Anemone gets the Crystal Heart on the field, the priority will be on me because I will get my graveyard activations. And once I get my graveyard activations, since Butler is a quick effect, I could chain link my Butler to this activation and pop his whole field completely. Now keep in mind, my opponent still has his normal summon left, and he did search for a card added from his graveyard to his hand, so he still has his normal summon left. I pop his field right here, and then get all my graveyard activations, and as you guys know, I love to get 2 dropsies on the field, so that way it guarantees me a totally awesome on my next turn. He activates the Anemone, targets the blue slug, puts it back in his extra deck, and normals out a monster from his hand, which I use my butler to instantly pop. I do not want him going into link climb, otherwise it would have been a really bad situation for me. I do not want him going into anything, so I use my butler, tribute my butler itself, pop his field, he sets down one card from his hand, ends his turn. Now this guy is relying, hoping that this one card will maybe get him, tide him through my combo. Like he's putting all his trust on that one card. So as I said, what do I do instantly when I get my turn? Of course, we go into Totally Awesome. So whatever that card was he was relying on, it's out, it's negated. And once he sees the Totally Awesome and me going into my combo, he just surrenders. He knows he lost the game. There's no coming back from this for him because I was going to OTK him that turn. Anyways, that's going to be the end of the game, guys. If you guys do like this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel for more daily prank and video uploads, and if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule is going to be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBduel signing out for today. See you guys in the next video. Peace!